It's a lot of people in DC that try to play the Grim Reaper. Whether they got a in their hand or they behind the wheel driving recklessly, that to me is you trying to take people out with no consequence. What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. So if you do not know me, my name is B Octavia. I am from Washington, D.C., born and raised, 25 years old, all that good stuff. We are 12K strong. Yeah, 12K. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to y'all. Thank y'all so much. Again, I'm just going to keep saying that. Today we will be getting into some DC news, some unfortunate news. I hate when there is tragedies with children, but we gotta talk about it. If you do not know my channel or you're not very familiar, I talk about things that happen worldwide, nationwide, right? But I always like to bring it back home and talk about very important things that's happening in my city, how we can change it, you know what I'm saying, and what the hugest problems of this area is. Gun violence is, of course, a huge topic that we can discuss, and a huge trend that's going on, an unfortunate stupid trend that's going on where young people, young men, older people in general, they not fighting no more. Okay, they not fighting no more. They rather just pick up a gun and end it all, even their lives. Go to prison for the rest of your life. Whoop-de-whoop. Gun violence is one. Hit and runs in the District of Columbia have been very back-to-back in the last, I want to say, 5 years. I've even shared with you guys, and if you're following my big sister, she was actually in a unfortunate, didn't have to happen type of situation where, I mean, these drivers in DC, they speed down streets at times that's just unorthodox. I mean, I wouldn't tell you to speed at any point, right? But people speeding on the highway, that's one thing. But it's residential areas that's starting to be the trend of where people is getting hit. Outside of schools, etc. Like really busy areas where you shouldn't be speeding at. Today we will be talking about a hit and run that could have been avoided. A hit and run where a 9-year-old boy was hit outside of his school. This hit and run specifically that I'm talking about happened last year, but there have been certain movements in this case that we will get into right now. A mother is planning on filing a lawsuit against a DC charter school. This lawsuit amounts to about $50 million because the mother that is filing this, she lost her son. Her son was hit by a car as he left his school. In a statement to a news outlet, the mother stated that the school is responsible for her son's injuries and death. She says that they are responsible because nobody supervised him leaving the building, nobody walked him out, nobody followed the regular procedure and protocol of that specific school. A video was shared of this accident, and me personally, like when I know what's going to happen in the video, you know what I'm saying? I got surprised one time with I forget how old he was, but the teenage boy who was not properly locked into the roller coaster situation. I didn't know what was going to happen then, and that was like the shock of my life, to see that and not expect. You get what I'm saying? So if I know what's going to happen, I can't watch that. You know what I'm saying? The video shows the 9-year-old boy leaving the classroom, going down a long hallway and leaving out of the school. There was about, I want to say 15 to 20 feet of a distance that he had to walk from the exit of the school to the crosswalk. He did that. He did look both ways. As soon as he got into the middle of the crosswalk, he was hit out of nowhere by a speeding car. From this tragedy, the 9-year-old boy did survive, but was paralyzed from the neck down. For the first few months of his recovery, he was on a breathing machine, as they call it, life support. Now, as I said earlier in this video, this hit and run happened in December of last year. And little Caden ended up passing away in June of this year. His mom says that the tragedy could have been avoided had the school followed their regular procedure. The 9-year-old was allowed to walk out of the school unaccompanied that day and was struck by a car while doing so. The mother also alleges that he was released from his classroom early that day. The usual protocol for staff. The 4th grader had been told his mother was going to pick him up early that day, and that is why he was released from his class, but he should have been released and directed to the office. The mother of 9-year-old little Caden and her lawyer state that within the normal protocol or procedure, they keep the early dismissal children or child in the office for pickup, and the parent comes to the office for the child. The mom states that she was in the office waiting for her son, but her son never came to the office. Like I said, he went straight from his class to outside. The car that struck the 9-year-old was driven allegedly by a man named William Ward. He has been named in the mother's lawsuit as being responsible, having majority of a role in her son's death. It also states that he was behind the wheel of the car that subsequently killed the 9-year-old child. At this moment, it is unclear if the alleged suspect currently faces charges for hitting the 9-year-old, but if he hasn't already, he will, especially with the unfortunate passing of the 9-year-old. I want to say that 9-year-old is a very strong little boy to have held on for so long. You know, it's a lot of people in DC that try to play the Grim Reaper, and whether they got a gun in their hand or they behind the wheel driving recklessly, that to me is you trying to act as the Grim Reaper and take people out with no consequence. This definitely could have been avoided, but this was almost at the end of the year. This was what do you call that? The 3rd trimester of the last school year. So they were well into a certain routine, a certain, as they said, protocol and procedure, and they did drop the ball. One thing that I noticed in the video of little Caden leaving class was there was nobody in that hallway. There was no security by that door to perhaps redirect him to the office. If there was somebody there, I feel like it would have been done properly. Oh, where you going? You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Oh, my mom is picking me up early. Okay, you need to go to the office. So there is quite a few things that could have been done on the school's part where this definitely wouldn't have happened. I feel so bad for the mom because she did everything right. She was at the office waiting for her son, and as she's waiting, her son gets hit by a car outside. That's not right. I definitely want to see how this plays out and what the school fires back with, and not fires back with, because she lost her son on their premises, period. She lost her son during school hours. So they are definitely at fault. And I hope that within any statement that they release that it won't, you know, be rude or anything like that. They definitely gonna have to pay, but the main person in this whole scenario that definitely shouldn't have been on the road that day, definitely shouldn't have had a license, probably don't have a license, probably got DUIs on that motherfucker, he has to pay also. He has to pay the most, in my opinion. And I'm not just talking about financials. I'm talking about he gonna have to pay with his time. He gonna have to do that time for hitting that boy. I'm really tired of the hit and runs in the District of Columbia. And this shit personal for me because my family has experienced this, you know? I've seen firsthand how recovery is, and it's not easy, especially for a 9-year-old child. I couldn't even imagine. I'm glad that at least this 9-year-old doesn't have to be in pain anymore. It should have never happened to him. Sadly, if it wasn't him, it would have been somebody else that day at that time. Because it seemed like no matter the time of day, it's people speeding like they really got somewhere to go with nowhere to go. Like they really got something to do with nothing on their agenda. You know how many up cars I see to the point where it look like you hit somebody or somebody hit you, and I see why, because you zoom speed racer. It's people in the school zones that be speeding. It's parents in the morning that be speeding. Just because you a few minutes late ain't got shit to do with me and my safety of being a pedestrian. It's so dangerous to be a pedestrian. It's even more dangerous, in my opinion, to be a pedestrian versus being in a car. Y'all motherfuckers got so much power in them pieces of metal, and y'all feel even more powerful than you should. If you are speeding to get to where you need to go, in my eyes and in my opinion, you are playing the Grim Reaper with not only everybody else's life, but whoever life in that car. Because 9 times out of 10, I swear to God, either nothing happens to the driver, or the driver a little fucked up, and somebody else in that same car dies. How is that? How is that? People on the outside of the cars, they get trashed. They get treated like trash, you know, that's in the road or what have you. And y'all all protected. The driver is protected. How many DUIs and hit and runs and things like that we done seen in the past 5 years, and nothing happened to the driver? Driver is getting walked to the police car. Walked. They can walk. They not bleeding visibly. They not bleeding internally. They playing the Grim Reaper and it's nothing happening to them. I swear, they need to up the laws. Up the laws. Give us some real rights as pedestrians. Make people be on their P's and Q's round this motherfucker, or they going to jail for the rest of their life. A 9-year-old boy. I mean, I done seen so many situations too where it's hit and runs and y'all hitting kids. Y'all hitting kids right as they get let out of school. Now this situation is a little different because it was still school hours. He was getting released early, and maybe he got a little confused if it was an adult there anywhere at the point of him leaving the class to exit the school. That could have been avoided. Wait, where you going, kid? See, I'm going to get into a whole bunch of shit right now because it's going to be on the school. They're going to have to pay. And I ain't going to say it's going to be 50 million, but they're going to have to pay. Right? They're going to have to pay because where's the security guards? Y'all giving anybody a security job. And these motherfuckers just want to be securities for the money. Do you know how many with laced wigs, eyelashes, just as ghetto is security guards? They not doing this because they want to protect and look out for the youth and this, that, and the fourth. They want a check. They want a bigger check. They want a big check. And they want to make it seem like they winning so bad. But y'all drop the ball at y'all job every day. Y'all are on y'all phones every single day on the job. Like you don't need to see if somebody's stealing or something. Like you don't need to walk around and patrol. Or if you got a post, stay at that post. That's where they fucked up at. And it's really sad. It's really sad that a 9-year-old boy had to die behind this. And he fought as long as he could. I commend him for that. I wish a lot of us had the opportunity to survive traumas that other people put onto us. That's not fair. Reckless drivers put trauma onto people every single day. And they don't get tossed in jail. They don't even get found. A lot of times when people get hit and the motherfucker run, they start pointing a finger at you like, oh, somebody wanted to hit you. Oh, you have enemies. Are y'all gonna say that with the 9-year-old boy too? Because it's easier for y'all? Oh, it's solved, it's cut and dry. Oh, she's a typical looking prostitute and this and that. It's people, fuck all that. On top of security's not wanting to do their job, police is dropping the ball in the hit and run department. It need to be police outside of every school. Not just because the let-outs be crazy, but because it's speeding in school zones and stuff like this is happening, and it could be avoided. Ain't no way. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no way you can blame this on the kid. The coast was clear. That car came out of nowhere. And I'm sure that same thing happens time and time again in the District of Columbia. It ain't never somebody that's going, I ain't never seen that shit. I ain't never seen somebody get intentionally hit because it's something personal and it's some type of revenge. I ain't seen that shit. I see innocent people getting hit. I see kids getting hit. I see elderly getting hit. The homeless people getting hit. I see innocent bystander pedestrians getting hit. I don't see no vendettas. So the police need to get on their job as far as that. I'm going to give them something. They getting better with the homicides and apprehending folk for that. You feel what I'm saying? Get them. Get them. But get these motherfuckers too. That's just speeding around the city like they ain't got no care in the world. It's a lot of paper tags around this motherfucker too. It's a lot of paper tags around this motherfucker. And I can't stand that. Pull them over. Pull it. Because 9 times out of 10, they ain't got no damn, what you call that? They ain't got no license. Niggas ain't around here getting licenses. It's a few niggas. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all got licenses. But it's a lot that don't have licenses. DC specifically need to get on their job. Like all that DMV shit, like the licenses and everything, it got lost in translation when COVID hit. Then people was getting away with stuff. They still getting away with stuff. Get on y'all job. I hope somebody see this. Send this to the officials. And me and my sisters talk about it all the time. Like, we want to get involved as far as seeing what we can do about getting lights and cameras and the traffic lights and stuff to really make these people stop. And if they don't stop then, and we got the cameras and the evidence of green, yellow, fucking red, and you're speeding, that would give us, that would give us some type of justice. We got it on tape. You know what I'm saying? It's possible they need updated cameras though. It's possible that we can get a license plate from that. Like, come on now. Give us something. We need that. So as time goes on, we're going to see what we can do to help the pedestrians and to talk to the mayor and things like that about what needs to happen to protect us all, to protect our children. But until next time, it's your girl B Octavia. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for tuning in to yet another video. If you haven't already, make sure you thumbs up the video, subscribe. My nail broke, but thumbs up the video, subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all later. Oh, share this. Share it. Share it. Share it.